Hi, and welcome to A Father's Note, where we promote fathers through building men. In this video, we are honoring the life and legacy of a husband, a father, and a patriarch, Bishop Willie E. Woods, aka Pop Woods. I had the privilege to sit down for a live interview with 3 of his 7 sons. We hope you enjoy. Lionel Nelson here, and welcome to A Father's Note, promoting fathers through building men. It's so important that we always stand up for our fathers. We want you to know we're with you. We're standing behind you 110%. We're going to take the time out, and we're going to honor a great man of God whom I've watched over the years. Quiet man, I can tell you that. But I don't know how he is at home, but I know when he's in public, very quiet. Holly said very much, but I'm a firm believer, though. The type of man he was is that you could see it lived out through his sons. And I'm talking about none other than Bishop Willie E. Woods, aka Pop Woods. And we're going to honor him on this broadcast tonight. Great man. I really appreciate him. It's unfortunate that his time has expired here on earth and he has gone home to be with the Lord. But nevertheless, though, guess what, you all? We have a couple of his sons with us here on our broadcast tonight, and we're going to go ahead on and bring them in and welcome them in. Let me see if I can get them going here. We got Mr. Darren here, Mr. James,
sir. Yes,
and the one, Mr. Sherman Woods. You got to do something with your mic there, bro.
My mic?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
My mic?
Yes, sir. Well, it's gone. Whatever was there, it was gone now because we had a little feedback there.
Okay.
We good now.
Okay.
All right.
Well, yeah, I'm gonna turn it off.
Yeah. So how you gentlemen are doing, man?
We're doing great. Fantastic.
Awesome.
It's a beautiful day, man. It's a beautiful day.
Hey, listen, man, let me tell you something. I have so much respect for you guys, man.
Likewise.
I'm telling you, man, I really appreciate you all. And you know, I had the privilege to be with you all, to fellowship with you all during your father's homegoing service. I'm going to tell you that was one service that I'm like, you know what? No, I have to be there to support them because these are gentlemen that look, we go way way back, you know. And I just felt it was the right thing to do, to honor, to be there with you as you lay your father to rest. But before we go any further, listen, I got some pictures here, man, that Mr. Woods, Darren sent to me here. And let me share this one here with you all. This is the gang here, huh?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's what Pop and Mom and all of the other brothers, right?
Yes, sir.
Everybody.
Okay.
That's everybody.
All right, that's it. That's good. That's good. Now this is where we all met, right here. This is what we all was looking like. This is what we would look. Let me see here now. Let me see here. This is Darren, right?
The little guy.
Yeah, with the little pretty face there, the fro. And behind you is Mr. Sherman with the biggest afro of all, huh? Let me see. Who is this right here? Behind you, Sherman. Who is this?
James.
That's James. Okay, yeah, that's cool.
I'm on the right.
No, actually, Randy is behind.
Randy.
Okay, that's Randy. Right. Okay, Randy.
Yeah.
This is Ike, right? On the left, or on y'all right.
On the left,
yeah.
Right.
And then that's Vernon behind Ike, and that's James in the center.
Right.
Yes.
And that's Pop, Mr. Pop Woods right there.
Right there.
Right? Okay, that's where it all started, right? So we're going to get to this in a minute now. But then as we get a little older, this is what we got going on now. The Hollywood stars. Yes, sir.
Oh,
yes,
God.
sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
That goes back a minute.
Yeah.
Any memories there? Any fond memories there?
Lots of fond memories, man. Lots. Yeah.
All right. And then I'm gonna bring us up to date. This is current.
There you go.
Yeah. These are the brothers right here. Yes, sir. At Pop's homegoing service. Is it okay if I refer to him as Pops?
Yeah, man. Yeah,
Okay.
Absolutely.
I certainly appreciate that, man. Because I want to honor him, man. I want to honor him. You know,
I need that picture.
You need that picture?
Yeah, he's frozen, but he said he needs that picture.
With his eyes closed.
He'll get back going. Oh, there you go. Okay, so let's get into the questions, man. Let's get into the questions. All right. But now, can we just talk a little bit of the history of how you guys started? All right, how the Woods started. How did this moment here come about? What was that like? Because I'm sure I have some guests and some viewers that are watching, and I want to take a real quick minute just to acknowledge them. I want to thank all of you that are watching on Facebook Live. Thank you so much. Please share your comments. Please, if you have any questions for our guests, please feel free to forward them, put them in the comments, and we will definitely forward it to our distinguished guest. And, you know, hey, look, we just want to have a good time, have some good conversation as we celebrate and honor the life and the legacy of Mr. Pop Woods, okay? So, but how was it like, you know, starting out? I'm sure that, because I heard some testimonies during the homegoing service, you know, y'all just didn't no, this is what Pop said y'all gonna do, and y'all did. Do I have that about right?
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah,
that's 100% right.
James, do you remember how we got started?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
Since you're the oldest, let me
being older than you guys, our dad played with different groups. He was a guitar player.
Okay.
Self-taught musician, played guitar, bass, piano, drums, play everything. You know, South Carolina.
Okay. What part of South Carolina did he come from?
King Street.
King Street. Okay.
Right. Okay. Williamsburg County. I don't know. Something like that.
Right.
And I think he got tired of whatever it was he was going through with the groups he was singing with.
Right.
And he decided that he would train his sons to sing. At the beginning, it was just me, Ike, and Vern. It was no Sherman,
Randy,
no Darren, and Randy.
Yeah.
And Randy. Yeah. It was.
So Randy is not the baby then?
No, Darren's the baby.
No, Darren's the baby.
Darren's the baby.
So Darren's the baby, the one who really has all the talk, right? Who does the front person, right?
And Sherman's the me baby. Sherman's the knee baby. You got the baby and the knee baby.
Oh, okay. Right? All right. Cool.
He got us together and said that he was going to teach us how to sing.
Okay.
We're going to form a group.
Right.
And we would be in the living room of the house practicing.
Right.
Because Darren and Sherman were too young. Sherman was like 6. Darren was 5.
Okay.
They were basically too young, and we were.
May I interrupt?
Go ahead.
I'm gonna let you finish. We were not too young, Lionel. They just didn't want us at the time.
No, we were too young. Our dad thought they were too young. Our dad used to do all the lead singing. I was playing the guitar.
Right.
Laverne was on the bass. He taught Laverne the bass.
Right.
Ike the guitar. Randy was on the drums. So that was the core of the musician.
Okay.
And I sang baritone. Ike sang tenor. Laverne sang top, alto.
So Ike actually sung?
Yeah, Ike sung. Oh, Ike can sing.
What? Hey, I only know him for playing the guitar, man.
Ike can
he sang a long time.
Yeah, Ike can sing.
Wow. Now that's something new to know. That's something new to know.
And we would be practicing. But little did we know, Sherman would be in the bedroom singing with us.
Right.
So we just practicing, you know, blah, 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 blah. I don't think we did a show yet. We were practicing, he just practiced. And then Sherman came in there because we were trying to sing a song. And I don't think anyone could lead it.
Right.
Anyone could lead it. And Sherman, 6 years old, came in and said, "Daddy, I can sing it." We never heard Sherman sing it out right.
I told you we weren't too young. They just didn't want us.
We never heard.
They never bothered to ask, huh?
He never asked Sherman. And Sherman said, "I can sing it." We were like, "Man, you 6 years old. You can't sing no song, you know." And our dad let him sing. And
Right.
little did we know he could sing.
That was it, huh?
That was it.
That's how it started.
He's been the lead singer ever since. And Darren was 5.
Uh-huh.
Now, I don't know when Darren came in, but I know that Darren came in, and instead of Laverne singing on top,
Right.
Darren started singing top. We took Ike off the tenor, put Laverne on the tenor. Darren, the youngest, started singing top.
Wow.
Yeah, they were singing, but we didn't know.
Hey, they said, hey, Darren said, I wasn't gonna be left out without a suit.
I don't even know that story.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome.
Started singing top. That was it.
Well, I think, let me see. The first time that I came to know of the Hollywood Stars, it was at a church. I've been trying to remember all day long what the name of that church is. It wasn't the name that it is now. Maybe you guys might jar a memory, but it was right there on 7th Avenue and 76th Street.
Yeah.
It used to be University Truth or something like.
Something Deliverance.
Pastor Howard.
Yeah. Okay. It was the old Ace music store back then.
Right.
Okay, and we're talking about I'm talking about the wee early 70s when I first met you guys.
Right.
Yeah.
I first come across.
But Lionel, you met us before then.
Okay, so help me then.
No, because we used to sing. We did a lot of singing down south, Coconut Grove, or what? No, further.
Right.
What was that, Jake? With your father, and I mean, we were babies.
Of course.
We were babies, and I don't think 76th Street existed at that time. I mean,
it's a part.
And
Hey,
we were
well, listen.
young, and they would save us for last.
Okay.
Sleep on the bench.
Okay, Miss Glover chimed in. She said it was Full Gospel Deliverance Church.
Yes,
that is absolutely it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Miss Glover.
Yeah.
That was the church. That was the church. I remember.
So since Miss Glover just chimed in, I just want to say kudos to the Little Shadows.
Yeah.
They were right there with us.
No, absolutely.
And
absolutely.
Boy, those were fun days, man.
Very much so.
Absolutely.
Yeah. You know, that's when we got to give time to talk about your father. But man, you know, I don't think our youth today really understand what fun is. You know, as far as what we used to do back then, man, I'm talking about we came in, we used to love what we were doing, man.
Yeah.
You know, and it wasn't really all about the competition or whatever, man. It was just about, hey, listen, you know, we all coming together, just enjoying each other. You know, and man, and I tell you what, man, I really loved you all spirit. And I can go on national, internet, World Wide Web right now and say, man, one thing I've noticed about you, and I know about you guys, is that you all always had a humble spirit. You know, you all weren't caught up in the glamour and the pats on the back, because guys, y'all was before the bomb.com, y'all was it, man. Y'all was so tight.
We didn't know that.
You know the greatest thing though, Lionel, to be honest.
Yes, sir.
I mean, we all had our fathers.
Yeah. No, man.
You all had your dad.
Yes.
The Little Shadows had their dad.
Yes.
Tom Kinnears had their dad. Universal Gospel Disciples had their dad. Bryan Brothers had their dad. I mean, we can go on and on and on and on. And I think with all of our fathers being ministers, pastors, they taught us the love of God.
Yes.
Our father always taught. He would always ask us, where does charity begins? Charity starts at home. At home. That's spread abroad. So we as brothers, I mean, we did everything together. We loved each other. So it was a pleasure to see you all.
That was the key. As brothers,
right?
We loved each other.
We loved each other.
All our
and it showed
time together.
And it shows, man.
Yeah.
It really showed. Yeah. So listen, okay, so let me get into these questions about Mr. Pop Woods. All right. So since we're a show that promotes fathers, all right, can you give one word? I would like for each one of you to give one word that would describe your father, Mr. Woods. Go ahead, Mr. Let's see. Let's start with the elders. Come on, James.
To describe my dad.
One word, yes.
To me, commitment.
Okay. Wow.
He was committed to his family. That's what I got from him. You know, his commitment to his family.
Right.
Just very committed to his family. He gave it all to his family, but the one word will be commitment.
Okay. All right. Mr. Sherman?
I would say strong. He was a strong-willed man. His faith was strong, and he was determined to raise his sons up in the way that God would have them to go. And it was his way or no way. Strong.
Okay. And you know, and I do want to acknowledge that he raised 7 sons, correct?
Yes.
Right. Yes. Okay. All right. What's your one word?
Not easy to do, by the way.
Well, I'm sure we're gonna get into that. We're gonna get into that. But what's your one word, Mr. Darren?
I was gonna say committed, but since James said that, I would say
sorry.
No, that's all right. That's all right. I would say dedicated.
Dedicated. Listen, okay.
For over 30 plus years. This is what made me proudest of my dad most. He ran a successful business as a businessman. He ran a church for 40 years, and he managed his boys singing for about 25 of our 45 years. And that took dedication, and beyond that, you know, he had some illnesses along the way.
Right.
He had some difficulties along the way, but he never let anything stop him. He never let anything, you know, deter him from what he thought God called him to do and called him to be. So that takes dedication.
Well, I think every last one of those words is evident due to the fact that he was able to really keep you guys together. Mm-hmm. And it, you know, as far as just not just keeping you together, but being a loving family, having, you know, brothers that you really loved. And this is what I keep hearing. This is what I've seen out of you guys. And I think every word that you guys have mentioned really absolutely described that. And it's because it's what I see in you all. Is what I see in you all. So then let me ask this question. So having 7 sons, how was he able to give time to each one of you? Or was there such a thing?
He had favorites now. Everybody assumed Ike was his favorite.
Oh, really?
Yes, everybody assumed that now. I don't know if that was true or not. At least I assumed that Ike was his favorite. I assumed Darren was his second favorite.
That was a close run between Ike and Darren. They were tight. You can pick whichever one you want to pick.
Between Ike and Darren. He wouldn't let us do sports, but he let certain ones. He just knew what to give to each son. He knew what to give. Very insightful. Very. It wasn't the knowledge of the world. Wisdom of God. He knew how to talk to each son. He knew how to. One time, me and him was in the car, and he said to me, "Well, you don't talk to 12 o'clock." I didn't know that. I really didn't know. He said, "You don't open up until after 12." I said, "No, what is my dad talking about? I don't open up till after 12." And he made me think. So he see different things. He saw different things in each one of his sons, and I believe he tried to bring out the best. But he had his favorite. I remember I went to a basketball game, and they said, "Woods, man, your brother can play basketball." Whoa, I'm like, my brother. I said, my brother not playing basketball. My dad won't let us play basketball, which he wouldn't. He wouldn't. Wow. Sherman was a great athlete. Right. Laverne, great athlete. I go up there, I'm in the stand. I see Darren down there, freshman, playing point guard. Starting.
So that's where the favorite come in at then, huh?
Well, you know, so I don't see it as favoritism because, you know, everybody had their thing. Everybody had their love.
Right.
I just happened to kind of sneak out and play basketball. I didn't sneak out. I got permission to play.
Okay.
And where others just were not as fortunate as me in that area.
So what was it that, do y'all know why he would not allow y'all to play sports?
I would say on my behalf, he claims I had a heart murmur.
Sherman had a bad heart. He couldn't play sports. That's what he told us.
You know, whatever, playing sports. But I don't go for that line. I mean, he just didn't want to play. And it's okay. It's okay.
Right.
But to the question that you asked.
He didn't want us to be athletes. He had already defined our future that we were going to be singers. And sometime when we played sports, we yelled a lot and we got hoarse.
Okay.
So
it was more so too because he told me directly that he didn't want me to get involved with the other boys. Playing sports could have enhanced my thoughts or whatever to be with the outside guys or whatever and doing other stuff. Now that's what he told me. So he didn't want me to go that way. He kept me from sports, but he let Darren play, he let Randy play.
Because Randy played as well, so it wasn't just me.
So Randy played basketball because it sounds like y'all are basketball guys.
To the bone. To the bone.
We were undefeated at the park.
We played any and everybody. People just saw us singing.
Wow. Okay. All right.
We could ball.
All right, good. All right, so I know not to pick up the basketball in.
Well, you can now. It won't bother us now.
All right, next question. So, what was those times like when it came to correction in the Woods home? No, especially with 7 boys. What was that experience like?
Rough for some, not so rough for others. It was,
our dad didn't play. He believed in spare the rod, spoil the child.
He believed in corporal punishment.
He believed in corporal punishment.
So then who got the most corporal punishment?
That guy right there. I used to feel sorry for Chuck. And so much pressure, and he put a lot of pressure on Sherman as a kid.
Right.
Sherman had a lot of pressure on him. If Sherman, what we would say, didn't get the house or turn out.
Right.
If Sherman wasn't the showstopper, he would let Sherman know. I believe Sherman had the most pressure. I used to feel sorry for him. I did. I used to feel sorry for Sherman. I used to say, man, for a little kid, that's a lot of pressure on a little kid. And so, he expected Sherman to always give 100% because he was out front.
Right.
Sherman was the front man.
But he also made the most money because those old mothers would give him $5.
Oh, okay.
He was banking now. He was banking.
You got to understand, Randy was a lead singer as well.
Right.
And Randy. But the pressure was on Sherman.
Well,
the pressure was on Sherman.
So my well, I'm striving not to deviate from the questions I have for you guys, but let me ask this question directly to you, Sherman. And it's not to catch you off guard or anything, but did you love singing? I think that's the question I want to ask you.
No.
Did you love singing?
No.
But you were so good at it.
I hated singing, literally. I hated singing.
Wow.
But I had to sing. Now, it's not let me say it right.
Okay.
I love to sing. But I knew there would be consequences if I didn't do or didn't live up to his expectations.
Yes.
So that made singing not fun at times.
I understand.
As a kid, yeah.
So was it like that? Okay, so here it is. We have a father who is strong, committed, dedicated, who loves his boys, and he wants his boys, of course, apparently he loves singing. That's why he wanted his boys, he took his boys to form his own group. Who else did not like singing? Or was it, which of you, or did any of you have a passion for singing?
I think that grew in us. That as we got better, as the acclaim came, it as you know, when people start, you know, Hollywood stars, the Woods, you know, I think that grew on all of us, you know, because you see, what we would call it was woodshed. Wasn't that the word we used? Woodshed.
Rehearsal, woodshed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the word we would use. Woodshed means practice.
Right.
We would practice. See, our dad used to practice us
twice a week.
Twice a week and Thursday.
Twice a week.
Yeah.
So listen, we had Tuesday night rehearsal, Wednesday night church, Thursday night rehearsal. Friday night we were singing somewhere. Saturday night we were singing somewhere. Sunday morning church, and singing twice on Sundays.
Right. But
we had no life other than that.
We had no life outside of that. But it wasn't bad now. There were benefits now. There were benefits.
And I want to say one thing too, not to put a bad light on Dad.
No.
That it was such a whatever. Our father played baseball with us. He had us at the school playing golf. No black kids wasn't playing golf.
Right.
He played golf with us. He played with all of our friends. So he did fun things with us as well.
Right.
But he had a passion for music. And in that passion, he saw that he could get out of his sons what he always wanted out of him and his brother. So he took that very serious with us.
He took it serious. But what I was saying about woodshed was we started practicing on our own every day. Every day we would say, man, we got a woodshed, something like that. We would say like that.
So you came into loving it. You came into appreciating and enjoying what you were doing.
Especially when we started doing our own music. Especially because we used to sing the violinaires.
Right. Oh man.
Everybody was singing.
Right. Everybody was singing the violinaires back then.
Everybody was singing the violinaires, and we met this group, the Tompkinaires.
Yes. Right. Out of Pompano.
And they were singing the violinaires, and we were singing the violinaires, and we saw the difference between them. And we said, no, that's not for us. That's not the path we want to go down.
Right.
And then we started writing and developing everything we sung was written by us. Everything.
So did Dad write?
No.
Or did he just allow you all to write the songs?
We wrote everything.
We wrote it.
So what was his response when you all, hey Dad, we don't want to do the violinaires no more. We want to do our own. We want to create our own identity. What was his response to that?
Well, Dad wasn't a big violinaires fan. So Dad, he was not a big violinaires fan. He liked them, but he wasn't.
Right.
You know, Dad was the Claude Jeter, the Swan Silvertones, the Clarence Fountain. And so
from a different era.
Right.
We listened to a lot of different music. That helped us out, you know, in our development of writing songs over the years. I mean, we were singing. I didn't know it was an OJ song when we were singing it because I was too young. But we were singing "Stairway to Heaven." I didn't, you know, we were singing Sam Cooke material, and so we kind of branched out and did a lot of other things. And then we developed our writing skills, and everybody had their own writing skill. So
you all wrote together.
We were watching TV, and Johnny Mathis was doing a song about
They Say I'm Foolish.
They Say I'm Foolish. They said foolish, but all of us was watching that and we were like, oh man. And that's why they call me fool.
Yeah.
Wow.
We just made the Johnny Mathis song. We didn't know that.
But now, in that regard, when Dad came home, we wanted him to hear us sing that.
Right.
We sang that to him. They call me fool, and he contributed to it. He said, "But you need a reason why they call me fool." For loving God. I mean, he was, he never had a problem with us writing or anything.
Okay.
No,
So he encouraged it. He wanted, and that's as long as it seems like as long as you guys were singing, doing what he had strived to instill in you all, he was okay with it.
He was okay.
He was okay with it.
Okay.
But now, going back to something that you said, Sherman, that I thought that was very key, because guess what? Unless he was absolutely involved in your life, away from you all just doing what he wanted you all to do, if it wasn't for the fact of him participating in what you guys want to do, away from that, there's no way in the world that the Hollywood Stars would have lasted as long as it did. Am I correct or wrong? Am I right about that, or how y'all feel about that?
No, I think you're right about that.
Because what I'm saying is that he was still engaged with his sons.
Well, he was. And he was engaged with his sons, and he was heartbroken when we asked him to step aside.
No, we didn't ask him. Tell the truth. James asked him. We didn't ask him.
I was being polite.
That was years later.
Okay.
Listen, you know what? And I'm going to say this. I hear a lot of stuff about family groups and father that ran the groups and stuff like that. Our father was very loose with us.
Very loose.
He allowed us to do what we wanted to do.
Okay.
It's almost like they say God give you choices, to do whatever you live right, live wrong. He gave us choices. And when we did come with him as far as managing our own group, he said, okay, if that's what y'all want to do, then whatever. He never no, don't do this, don't do that. As long as we were doing it, that's all that mattered to him.
Right. Yeah. Now, he gave you choices away from the group as well as with the group. That's what you're saying?
No, we had to go to church.
No, but I'm saying though, the only thing that you couldn't do, you couldn't play sports.
We couldn't play sports. No.
Okay.
Not all of us. Some of us did, but not all of us.
But we, again, it was the individual. Ike had a choice.
Okay.
Ike stepped away from the group at 18 years old. Right. And said, look, I don't want to do this. I want to go, do BB King. Right. So Ike stepped away from the group, and then there were 5 of us. Mm-hmm. Randy kind of strayed and came back and strayed and came back. And then there were 4 of us. And then Ike came back and we did our first album, in about 85, 84, 85?
45, yeah.
Yeah, and so there were moments, and then of course, James wanted to be a preacher. And, he's a grown man at that time, but still.
That was years later.
Yeah, but, but the point is, Pop never forced us to do anything once we got of age to make up our own minds.
Right. That's good.
I wanted to play basketball. I wasn't very good at it, I think. I mean, I was okay.
What you're saying is, to me, his greatest accomplishment was he taught his sons to love each other.
Yeah. There's no doubt.
I agree with that.
Because you had a lot of other family groups, and I'm going to be honest, I didn't see them loving each other. We never fought.
Right.
When I say never, I mean growing up, I was older.
I got it.
We don't talk, right?
But it was one practice we had.
He can take me never won because he beat us.
I don't remember us ever practice fighting. Never.
Right.
And Sherman and Randy was fighting. I was shocked.
Right.
I never saw that.
Right.
I never saw any of us fight.
So what was the outcome? What was the outcome of that?
Of the fight?
Yeah. Well, I mean, not about who win or won, but how was it resolved?
They resolved it.
Okay.
That's we never held anything against each other.
Right. Okay.
Even when he said Ike left at 18, we could still say, Ike, come and play for us. And if he wasn't doing anything, he would still come in. The love was still always there. The genuine respect was always there. That's
okay, let me get on through these questions here. Okay, so how did Pop Woods handle the challenges of being a father to 7 sons? What was that like with him? Because I'm sure he had his challenges.
He really didn't.
I didn't hear that question because my thing
for me,
I don't know. I'm sorry.
How did Pop handle the challenge of having?
From my perspective, he really didn't. He had a strong hold on his sons. We knew what we were expected to do, and for the most part, we did what we were expected to do. From work, so he gave us great work ethic. From church, he gave us, the knowledge and the desire to be in ministry. Even in music, when we didn't want to sing, we learned how to go from doing what you have to do to now doing what you love to do. And so,
our father came from South Carolina. He grew up in a very racist environment. He grew up in a very deprived environment. Him and his dad didn't have a good relationship. That's what he told me. He didn't have a good relationship with his dad, and I think he wanted to have a great relationship with his sons. He told all of us 1,000 million times that he asked God for 7 sons.
Right. Yeah, I heard that.
7 sons, he would raise them unto the Lord. I think that was his quest. His quest was not just that we sang, but that we understood what singing was about. So there was it was a challenge that he put on himself, and I think he
Okay.
he wasn't perfect now. We sung, we worked, we did the church thing and everything. And listen to this, he never gave us a penny.
That's why you fired. That's why you fired him.
He kept all the income, and you know what he would tell us? I put a roof over your head. I clothe you. I feed you. I give you provision.
Right.
You just and he was good. Our dad was good. You're contributing to the family.
Right. Okay. All right. So what was your joys and success of having him as a father?
I wouldn't be the man that I am today if he wasn't there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just that simple. We always say things, whatever. He did this, he whooped us, he did that. But I had a lot of love. He had a lot of love. He, as Darren was saying, I mean, he taught us how to be men.
Right.
He taught us how to be men. And in our homes, with all our kids, we did what we were supposed to do. And that was only growing up in life and where we came from, we were our father boys. Yeah. Our mother had us through birth, but we were our father boys. Make no mistake about it. So made sure we were being trained and developing to be good men, providers, and for me, I wouldn't be the man that I am today if I didn't have him as my father. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Anyone else?
Yeah, I think that goes for all of us. All of his sons understood what achievement was. Understood. See, our father was a very, like I said, he came from his background was they were like sharecroppers.
Right.
But they were the great grandchildren of slaves in South Carolina, man. We're talking about the second last state to get rid of the Confederate flag. We're talking about the South. And he told me one time that his life was impacted by his environment. He told me one time he saw a black kid hang. Most people don't know that. He shared that with me, that for looking at a white lady in the eye, and that had an impact on him.
Right.
And he wanted more. And most parents did back then. They wanted more for their children than what they had.
Well, go ahead, Darren. You want to respond? Because I want to ask I want to have a question I want to ask in reference to what you just said.
Well, no, I mean, Dad was my everything. So
wow.
Dad was my everything. He was, and that's the only way I can describe it. I mean, when we lost Dad a few months ago, I mean, that was just the most devastating thing. And we lost Mom a couple of years before Dad. Right. But when we lost Dad, that was the most devastating thing that ever happened in my life. So I don't know how to sum that up other than Dad was my everything.
Now, going back to what you said, James, about his experiences living in the South, you did mention about the racism, what have you. How did he go about, though? What was his approach with his sons when it came down to that type of narrative? If you understand the question.
Muhammad Ali was Cassius Clay back in the day. And whenever Muhammad Ali fought or Cassius Clay fought, he would go for the white guy. And he would do that on purpose so that he was just messing with us, so that it wouldn't be an automatic thing, the black man is going to win. He would always go for the underdog just to keep us at bay with the racism. The black man is going to win. The black man is going to win. I remember a time we went into the store, we were cutting grass, and we went into a store to get something to eat. And the white guy followed us around the store. And he told us to put everything back. The man said, well, I wasn't following you. He said, yes, you were. I'm with my sons. I'm their father. I'm with them. They're not gonna steal. Growing up underneath that, he didn't want us to go through that, and he didn't want us to have that racism in us. Like even in school, if we came home, well, Dad, she don't like me because she's white. No. He didn't go for that.
Right.
You couldn't use that on him. If you go to school and do what you're supposed to do, even if she couldn't stand you, she wouldn't, hate, do anything, So He put it back on us because he wanted everything to be equal and balanced.
Gotcha.
That's what I was from it. Yeah.
Well, I just think he was a man of great wisdom. So he studied the Bible. So that's where he got his educational training from. He studied the Word of God. And I look back now and I say, man, I remember some of the sermons when I was a teenager that people are still teaching today. And I said, Dad taught that like 30, 40 years ago, right? Just so he believed every word of the Bible. He didn't believe in allegories of the Bible. He didn't believe in storytelling of the Bible. He believed every word of the Bible.
Right.
He probably was a giant among men when it came to faith, and so that is what I've take away from Dad. He just had strong conviction that God would always see us through anything.
See? Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, and so now I have that same belief system because I saw it in application. Now I live it experientially because you experience things as you get older. But the application that, man, there isn't anything that God can't do, right? And so he just trusted God with everything. Right.
So it seems though, in spite of what he experienced, he made sure that he did not filter that down to his sons.
Right. Yes. Right.
Okay. And that's
he taught us to literally to reach for the stars. I mean, he
definitely.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. He taught us to reach for the stars.
To shoot for greatness.
Yeah.
Man, that's great. And I can tell you the truth, I really see it. So my next question, doing the homegoing services, listening to all the testimonies that went forth, one would gather, this is what I got from that, listening to everyone that everything, all of the testimonies that everyone had to say, that he was not just a father to his 7 sons, but he was a father in the community in where he lived. And to everyone every child, whatever, that came through across his path. Am my assessments right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. So there were 6 of us in the house, ranging 6 years in different spans.
Right.
I think Pop knew every one of our friends.
Wow.
Right. So he knew James's friends, he knew Ike's friends, he knew Vern's friends, he knew Randy's friends, he knew Sherman's friends, he knew my friends. So he was across the board.
Right.
He was he was one of the many pops of the community, but certainly he was a pop of the community.
See, in our family, we always had a dad. Cause you talk about fathers.
Right.
We always
come on
had a father. Like a lot of my cousins didn't have a father. So me and Sherman was talking about this. So when we would go to family funerals, they would be always talking about the matriarch, which is our grandmother.
Right.
And they would be like, praising her, like what she did. But me and Sherman were like, but we had a dad.
Wow.
They didn't have a father in their life.
Right.
So they had to look elsewhere. We didn't have to look elsewhere. It was in our house. We had someone we could go to. We had someone who was mentoring us. We had someone, what you were just saying about the racism and stuff. We were entertainers. And you got to be a people person.
Right.
And he used to tell me like the craziest stories about, the sun and the wind, and they had this contest and the guy had the jet. He said people will do things for you if they like you that they wouldn't do for you if they didn't like you.
Right.
And he always would emphasize that to me. Be a people person. Just be a people. Let people if people like you. He was a mentor. He really was a mentor. Me and him had a lot of crazy conversations.
And let me just pick up on that real quick, Lionel.
Come on, bro. Come on.
Because people would ask me what made the Hollywood stars successful. And see, I didn't know I didn't know James and Dad had that conversation.
Right.
But I would always tell people 3 things made us successful. And those 3 things were people need to know you, they need to like you, and they need to appreciate your music. Right. But that was the last component, the appreciation of music. They need to know you and like you first. I mean, nobody's gonna, come and support you and all the things that people did for the Hollywood stars and the Woods if they didn't like us.
No, absolutely.
Right. And Dad taught us that, that personal touch, how to connect with people.
Right, how to connect with people.
I think we got to the point where it's that, to tell you the truth, if I was to give one word to sum up everything that you guys have said concerning Pop Woods, your father, is that he was a man of character.
Very.
Yes.
And he taught that to his sons, to have character. Because if you have good character, then people will like you. If you got bad character, people are not going to like you. They would not even want to have anything to do with you. But it seems that that's the one thing that he instilled in you all, was to have good character. And that means if you have good character, you're going to be a good husband, you're going to be a good father, you're going to be a good brother, and so forth and so on. That's about right, man.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay. That's good. Good.
Any character, but to have good character.
Right.
And we have to remember, he was also the pastor. So we had the spiritual foundation, and most people just see the music.
Right.
They didn't understand the spiritual foundation that he was in giving us, that he was depositing in us, to be good men of character.
Right.
Don't hurt people. Be ethical. And,
right.
And how dare he wouldn't let nothing defeat him. He would. If it killed them trying, he would try. And you see this. You grow up watching this, and you grow up understanding. This is your example. Our dad only went to the 6th grade, not because he didn't want to. He was mad at life because he was deprived of an education. Because they in South Carolina, they made the boys work the fields, and they took him out of what he said. He was a man since he was 9 years old. No. All that serious. He said he was a man since he was 9 years old. If he tell you his life, he said they took him out of school at 9 years old, made him work full time at 9 years old. He said the people would pull the cars on the side of the road because he would be behind the plow, a little boy behind the plow, watching him plow. So he was 9 years old. And when he came to South Florida, the first thing he did was try to improve himself. He put himself in night school. Most people would just dropping out of school. Especially during that time, they would like at a high dropout rate. Here he was going back to school as a grown man because he was deprived of that as a kid. He went to night school. Why? To learn how to read, to write, to learn to better himself. That was always his mindset, not to be content with who he was or what life had did to him. So that was my example. My example was, I'll always be better.
So I just want to interject this here for those who are just tuning in late. What we're doing tonight with the sons of Bishop Willie E. Woods, aka Pop Woods, we are honoring him. We are honoring his life and his legacy, and it's just something that I'm just so privileged and honored to be able to do this with you guys, and I certainly again appreciate you all. But let me ask one more question if I can, because we kind of run out of time here. You guys may have covered this, but overall as a father, what has he taught you most important about being a man and about life itself?
God and family. God and family.
That's good.
That's good. That surmises his life. I mean, he loved God and he loved his family. And he wouldn't put anything before either one.
That's good. Mr. Sherman?
I 100%. I agree with Darren. God and family. God first, then family. Yes.
Wow. Yes. Wow. So what you want to respond, Mr. James?
No, that's
it, huh? God and family.
God and family.
So
pastor.
Right. So it's obviously then he was a man who loved God and he loved his family.
Right.
Yes.
Point blank. So what goals or aspirations has he inspired in you to pursue as you go forward in life?
To make it to heaven.
Absolutely.
To make it to heaven. Listen,
remember, don't nobody know about the church more than kids who were raised in the church.
That's true.
Now listen to me. You hear the people on the outside talking. It's the children on the inside. They've seen everything. They've witnessed everything. I hear people, young men, when you witness to them, they'll tell me about my mama took the money that was to feed us and she took it to the church, but he always believed charity started at home. Right. Always believe. You don't neglect your home. You don't neglect God and family. Take care of your family. He always believed in responsibility. An irresponsible man does not represent God.
Wow.
And I think like to chime in when you say the aspirations and goals, whatever, I mean, my perspective on this is, I mean, as who we are as men, our family, our family. That's. I applaud all my brothers and families and children. Myself.
You're breaking up.
My kids, and be who we are with our kids. If our father wasn't the way he was with us,
that's right.
You know what I mean? So you know, you can have all the riches and all that in the world. That matters nothing if you're not happy. Your children are not happy. Your family is not in love, you know, with each other. And that's one thing we had as brothers. For me, my brother Lionel, when I say I love my brothers. They call me the soft, sensitive one. I'm okay with that.
We used to call Darren and Sherman.
What's that? What's that?
Peanuts in a hole.
Listen, when we were kids, Darren and I used to kiss him in the mouth. I didn't care.
Don't tell nobody, man.
Now, I'm going to say this. Darren said when Sherman got married, he told me this one time, the saddest day in his life. He only got married. You remember you told me that?
Don't tell everybody that. That was confidential.
Ain't nobody heard this, brother. Ain't nobody heard what you had to say.
Mute the mic.
Mute the mic.
I'm talking about love, man.
Oh my God.
Hey, I guess that's another trick that Pop taught y'all, to be honest, huh? Just be honest. Tell the truth.
And you know the greatest thing right now, honestly, we had James, Darren, and myself here today. But had Ike and Vern been here today,
right,
we would see even more.
Yeah,
wow.
And I'm being honest. We all have our own characters. We know how each other, is, but we all represent the same thing. And if you get all 5 of us together at one time, I mean, it's real. It's beautiful.
Wow.
It's beautiful. And we all not to neglect our mother. No, this is about fathers.
Right.
And, we owe all of that to our dad.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, since you mentioned about mom, come on, tell us a little bit about mom. Just give us a little bit. I'm gonna give a little bit more time. Let's talk about mom, because I know mom is in this picture right here. So let's talk a little bit about mom. What do y'all have to say about mom?
Wow.
Faithful.
Yeah.
Just faithful.
You heard the young man at the funeral. And he was, I don't know if he said it or not, but we used to play a lot outside.
Mm-hmm.
And playing outside when we were little, at first it was embarrassing because you would hear our mother praying from outside. We would be outside. She's in the utility room. She had her prayer thing all set up, and you would hear her down the street praying.
Yes.
But it became so normal to our friends. It was like, oh, that's just Miss Wood. She's praying. And it was a part of the neighborhood. I mean, she was faithful. I mean, faithful to God and all that she did. I mean, so yeah.
What's mom's name? Give us mom's name.
Emma.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Miss Emma Wood.
So
awesome.
let me say this in 10 seconds.
Okay.
So I went from being ashamed of not ashamed, but Mom used to like to shout all the time. Right? And every program we at, Mom shouting all throughout the oh man.
Sound like my mother.
I believe, this is my opinion, I believe Joe LaGun put in a song on a record. Look at that lady shouting over there. She got the Holy Ghost because of my mom. Because of my mom. Because I know he said it when he was here.
Right.
But then the embarrassment went away.
Right.
And man, I tell you what, she was just faithful to the end. She was faithful to the end, we just love her so much.
I just want to share one thing our dad did with us. You're talking about fathers.
Mm-hmm.
What he instituted was he had 7 boys. We didn't get a lot of toys or things, so Christmas was big at our house. That's when we got our toys. We didn't get like expensive things, just little things.
Right.
But they were precious to us. But our dad in his wisdom say, this is about the birth of Christ. And before we could open one toy, he would kneel all his sons every Christmas. He would kneel all his sons down in the living room, and him and mom would pray. And those would be the longest prayers.
Now mind you, the impact of that, when I had my children, when I got married, about the first 5 years, they couldn't open none of their Christmas gifts until we moved to our parents' house and prayed. Now we can go back home and open.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
They instituted with us.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know, before we open one toy, we're going to pray as a family. We ain't talking about now Jesus come in the room and it's over. We're talking about 15, 20.
Oh, y'all going to touch John. Y'all going to touch heaven, huh?
And another thing, you're talking about fathers. Like for another thing, and my dad would beat us, and I would be so angry at him. I mean, I could like take a stick and hit him and break. And then you know what he would say to us? Come and kiss me.
Yeah.
Come and give me a kiss.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm like, kiss you.
All right, we got to close this out. So my last question, what words of encouragement would you share with other men, who no longer have their father in them on this side of life, like you guys? I'm sure that was, not having dad around, not having pops around was a tremendous experience I don't know what that's like. I can only imagine. I would say that you guys, man, I was very honored to know you guys doing your homegoing service. You all represented him very well. I was very pleased with everything that I saw, and it was fun. I really enjoyed it. I know it might sound funny, weird, saying it for a homegoing service, but I really enjoyed that experience, and I was glad and honored to be a part of that. But what words of encouragement would you speak to those who may find themselves having the same relationship that you all have with your father, and their father is no longer here? What would you say to encourage them as they go forward in life?
For me, it would be Proverbs. Train up a child in the way that he should go, and when he grows old, he will not depart thereof. And that's what our father did. Our father didn't send us to church. He took us to church. He was there in everything that we did. He was not a non-active father. He was active in everything that we did. And so,
that's good.
Be with your children. They are your seed. And so, they're going to do more of what you do versus more of what you say. So if you want them to do, be the example for them to do. Okay.
Yeah. Sherman?
No, I mean, I agree with that. Your family, man, I don't know. It's so, Lionel, we can talk for days.
I'm sure you can. I'm sure we can.
Things, you know what I mean? And so sometimes finding the exact right thing to say at an appointed time is hard because there's so much you can say.
Right.
As our father, he was a great part of our life, and he was, as Darren say, being active with your family, with your kids, loving your wife, as Christ loved the church. A lot of these things I think men don't focus on for his wives properly, taking it for granted, certain things, and I think in all of our lives we took things from our father, what he gave to us, and I wouldn't, like I said, I wouldn't be the man I am without him. So just love your family, do right by your family, be there, don't talk the talk, walk the walk. Let your children see you, involved, and that's important.
That's very good. Thank you. Mr. James?
Everybody's looking for something in life. There's a lot of absentee fathers. Whatever it is that you are looking for in life, you be that. Whatever it is, if you were looking for a father, then be a father. If you were looking for love in life and you didn't receive love, be love. Whatever it is that you're looking for,
right,
you become that.
Wow.
That. Then that's how we like they say the generational curse, which I don't believe in anyway, but that's how we I heard a statistic, we break the syndrome of one parent household. If you come from a one parent household, make sure you don't create that.
Right. Oh, that's good.
Don't you do it, because it passes. Most alcoholics come from alcoholic parents, which makes no sense. It would be like they shouldn't drink.
Yeah. Especially after experiencing it.
Right, especially after they experience it.
Yeah. Well, guys, I'm going to close this interview out with one scripture that I was just kind of searching for some scriptures. And this, to me, this scripture would best sum up or describe your father. And that's Deuteronomy 6, verses 6 and 7. It said that these commandments that I give you today are to be on your hearts. Impress them on your children. Talk about them when you sit at home and when you walk along the road, when you lie down and when you get up. This seems to be who your father was. He was a man, as y'all said, he loved God and he loved his family, and he was going to make sure that he instilled everything as to whom God was to him and to you all. And this is the reason why I'm absolutely certain that he's smiling down from heaven. He's so proud of his sons. He's so proud of what you guys represent. The interesting thing though, I know for me, I'm going to shut up in a minute here, but I know that I appreciate you all. I'm gonna go there, because one of the things that I can say about the Woods, and that I certainly appreciate, man, is the life that you guys have lived. No scandals and all that kind of stuff. We all have life experiences, but no scandals and all that nonsense that we hear, especially that happens with a lot of gospel groups that during our tenure. If y'all understand what I'm saying. But I'm going to close this out. And again, I want to say thank you. Thank you so much for allowing me and A Father's Note to honor your father on this day as we are approaching Father's Day in this month. And man, I am so humbled, man. I'm glad that you all accept my interview. Man, you guys have something to really hold your head up high for and just be grateful for, because this man really walked the walk and he talked the talk, as we say. So if you don't have any other comments, I want to let me recognize Ike and Laverne, even though they were not able to be here. I want to thank you even for your intent. And I wish he was here. I'm sure that would have been rather interesting.
Yes.
Hey, but I got a mad love for you guys, man, and I want y'all to know that.
Love you too.
That anything that we can do for you at A Father's Note, just let us know, and we'll definitely do what we can.